Hello, everybody, and I hope this is functioning. The people at StreamYard have made changes, and I think they've replaced me as the host. So,
which is bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It had to happen at some point.
It used to be that I was able to edit layout. Well, I wasn't ever really able to do that. I was, and here I am. Bronk, remove him from stream. No, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that?
You can.
Oh my God, this is becoming, and I'm supposed to be a techie kind of guy, and instead, no.
Yeah, but you're old though. I mean, what nationality of people are StreamYard? Because I remember Make TV were a bunch of German Nazis, but
yeah. Achtung! That's how you know you were in trouble with Make TV. It was like, we have ways of making you talk. Instead of saying go live, it's like, we have ways. We have ways of making you talk.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah, Mr. Moohead, they just automatically put Jew Boy in as my name. It was very, very disconcerting. I wish I knew what this meant. Honest to God, I group layout, press shift. I mean, I don't know. Fuck it. Is this at least working? Let me know if you're seeing this okay.
Well, me and Double P can, but I don't know if anybody else can.
Yeah, let me know if this show is being broadcast because we have 0 viewers. that is disconcerting.
That's just that's like ignoring. That's like poor old Rick May. You know, he's. Oh, Ron Leffman says it's working.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah, it still says 0 viewers. YouTube is okay. 5 by 5. What does that mean?
He might be talking about the viewers, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not. Picture and sound is fine. I guess that's what it is. And there's a glitch in StreamYard. Nothing new in Mr. Moohead's world. Joining me today, Bronk and Double P, and we're gonna have a good old time. I just. Oh wait! I see something. Bing! Okay.
Oh my God.
Fuck every one of you. You're 0 viewers. You can suck my dick. Okay. I don't mean to be that way. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
I absolutely do. All right. First of all, I want to start out the program with some relatively recent news now. That the Browns have agreed with speedy wide receiver Marquise Goodwin on a 1-year deal. And you're saying, who is Marquise Goodwin?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds like 2 wide receivers that they combined into one, like Marquise Brown and Chris Godwin or whatever.
Yeah, right. But you would be
wrong. I'd be wrong to say
yes,
that.
you would. He's 32 years old, so... Bill Masterson reporting from the Senior Football League. I'm your host, Bill. You can call me Bill. Marquise Goodwin is a guy came from the Seattle Seahawks, but he's bounced around the last couple of years. He's 5'9", 183 pounds. Coming out of Texas in 2012, he ran a 4.27 40, but he was being chased by the KKK.
2012.
Okay, this has got to stop.
Won't remember him.
Yeah, So now we have Elijah Moore, who's young. Okay, 24 years old, and we have 32-year-old Marquise Goodwin fighting for a spot, who's a 1-year deal, and basically, what it amounts to is one guy, Moore, ran a 4.35, and Goodwin ran when he was young a 4.27. He doesn't run anywhere near that fast now. And if you're the second-year player, Bell, out of Purdue, coming in the back to try to make the Browns roster, you didn't impress anybody last year, my friend.
No.
So right off the bat, there is some concern. All right. And the concern is if you are Anthony Schwartz,
Yeah.
I think it
Oh, it's not the elephant.
yeah. And, people would ask me, well, what do you think of this whole thing? And I say, it's not a bad thing at all, because both of these receivers, Marquise Goodwin has been hurt a lot, and so many women have left him. No, he's been hurt physically, and the thing is, Goodwin and Deshaun Watson are both represented by the same agent. All right, David Mulugeta, he's the guy. So, it just basically, he played for the Seahawks last year, catching 27 passes for 387 yards, including 2 starts. He joined the Seahawks after bouncing around from the Eagles to the Bears in 2021. Anything that ends up with the Bears has historically not been a good thing. The thing is that there was a time when Goodwin was looked upon maybe as something more than he is now, which is just a veteran who is playing out the string. But I will say again, I would rather have Marquise Goodwin and Elijah Moore than have fucking Anthony Schwartz, okay?
Absolutely.
I mean, that is the God honest truth.
Now, I want to play devil's advocate. Now, we know we're going to talk about him later with the Cavs, but Darius Garland had kind of a similar kind of career path where those first 2 years, the dude just looked unplayable, and we all thought Colin Sexton was the future. So do you think Schwartz maybe, because like Garland, he has the skill set. Garland could always shoot the long ball, and we know Schwartz calling card is his speed, so maybe they stick around and hope he develops, but I know that's kind of hoping for the best.
Well, what I would say, the thing that I liked about the Elijah Moore signing is that he is a slot receiver. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he is not going to have a problem being game planned in that position. I'm still wondering why it shows we have 0 viewers. Wow. This is very distressing to me.
Well, it's not even counting the panel then.
That's just it. And I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go into YouTube just real quick. And
well, I mean, if I can answer Double P's question, I think that basketball and football are totally different sports, and they're playing totally different roles. I mean, if you're afraid to get tackled going over the middle to catch a pass, that's a lot different from being able to go in the lane and put in layups.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's like a trivial answer, but
Yeah, Ron Leffman and Rick May are saying it shows 13 viewers, and it's like yours does, but mine up in the upper left-hand corner of my studio says the Big Donut. So obviously these new little things they've done maybe aren't completely ironed out yet. But thank you for responding, both Ron and Rick. I appreciate it. Again, a slot receiver has to be, I guess you would call it, twitchy. They like to call them twitch moves, which are quick within a box. It's kind of like footwork in a phone booth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, what David Bell didn't show at all last year in his chances to play was separation. And to be honest with you, Donovan Peoples-Jones didn't either. He caught a lot of passes. He's a big fella.
Yeah, he went up and got him, yeah.
Good hands, and he can catch the ball in traffic. But if you really want a slot receiver, it's important I mean, the definition of slot receiver now is speed and its elusiveness. And if you look at the statistics on Elijah Moore, you'll see that in each of his seasons, he caught some deep balls. And I have a feeling that it was because he would run after catch and he can pull away because he has speed. I can't blame Elijah Moore. And I know some fans were a little bit concerned because he did, when he was with the Jets, go off on the Jets because LaFleur, who is no longer there as the offensive coordinator, took him out of the slot, put him outside. And he just doesn't, that's not his skill set.
Yeah, he was probably getting killed by cornerbacks that, were jamming him.
Yeah, I mean, that's not his skill set. Now, David Bell is a slot receiver. So that's kind of, what he does. And David Bell can catch the ball. Elijah Moore has good hands. He had a very low drop rate. Even during the time that he was going from having caught, and I'm making up numbers now, but this was ballpark, that he had gone from 47 catches to 36 catches or something of that ilk. And that it wasn't that he was dropping passes. It wasn't that the quarterbacks lost faith in them. It's that they didn't have a quarterback. I mean, look at the situation for what it was there. Zach Wilson didn't win over any friends playing for the Jets, and he got the coach fired too. And Mike White, in a real world sense, is a backup quarterback like Joshua Dobbs is now for the Browns. You don't want him out there playing, believe me.
No. Yeah.
No. But the thing is that Elijah Moore actually did better with Mike White as the quarterback than Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco.
He obviously, it was very depressing for him to be in that environment. And he's coming into a situation where he's not going to be on the field all the time. You know that Stefanski's going to do his 3 tight end thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to happen. So, he's going to be in certain alignments as part of an offensive package, which we didn't have that piece, which was just blazing speed, because the guy we had who had blazing speed couldn't cut, couldn't run patterns, and couldn't catch the ball.
Oh, and
try.
What'd you say, double P?
I was going to say, or they would try to throw guys out there like Fountain or Hunt who clearly just aren't wide receivers. We just lacked at that position.
Yeah. Did you go back to your old microphone, the one that sucks?
Oh,
yeah, you're big crackly.
You sound
I had a different one, but it wasn't allowing. I couldn't hear myself with the test mic thing, so I had to switch the cable, and this one worked. But yeah, it's not the best.
You got a headset on. Maybe you need a headset on.
Oh,
yeah, you don't have a headset?
No, I'm wearing the headset right now. It's just the cable.
Now try it. Double P.
Do I sound a little bit better now?
Oh, yeah, you do. And because I just did a little something here. And now talk again to me, Double P.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what this does. I'm doing little changes, and who knows, it might help. So, I mean, if you have a wide receiver who can't catch a pass, and Anthony Schwartz will not be on the Browns. He won't make the roster. And the fact is that we didn't have any draft picks anyway. Number 42, and you can't tell me that dropping from 42 to 72 or whatever the fuck they did is a worse move than hoping to find somebody at 42 as a wide receiver. That wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Especially with AB picking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just that we made ourselves marginally better at the wide receiver position because we actually have a fast guy who has the hands to catch the ball, and they are small receivers, but it's going to be like Tyreek Hill kind of thing in the slot. Now, how that actually pairs up with the way Kevin Stefanski calls a football game, God only knows, because if he never calls your alignment, you don't get into the fucking game anyway. So right off the bat, that has something to do with something. There's another thing that I wanted to talk about regarding Ozzie Newsome, who we all love. Ozzie
We love Ozzie.
Great player. Headline: Ozzie Newsome admits Deshaun Watson's contract created problems with Lamar Jackson negotiations. Good.
Yeah.
You know something? Quit your bitching. You know what's absolutely amazing to me is people are saying, we could actually be better. And I'm saying, no, because the league, everybody is pissed off at the Browns because of Deshaun Watson's contract. And the funny thing about it is they blow the New York Yankees for doing the same goddamn thing.
Correct.
I mean, Major League Baseball just hobs the knob, man. It's like, you run up your goddamn payroll. Hey, Steve Cohen. Yeah, hedge fund Jew boy. You get in here and you go ahead and put, $300 million into payroll. Do it. Yeah. You got Francisco Lindor and you've really partially ruined him already. Do it. You're in New York. If you can't make it there, you can't make it anywhere.
It's up to you.
Yep. So the thing that is making me laugh about this whole thing is that this is easy for Ozzie Newsome to say that. If you had a quarterback, Ozzie, who is a smart, intelligent, reasonable person, he would have an agent representing him.
Yeah.
Not some guy who is parading himself around as communicating that he has communicated with Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's Mickey Mouse time. You can see the ears growing on Lamar Jackson. He's a bow wow. Overrated. And the thing that's really amazing about this is that he is the creator of his own destruction. This is stupid to blame the Browns because, I mean, what do you think's going to happen? I guarantee you, if Robert Kraft decided he was going to pay, if Tom Brady was up for renewal and he was a young Tom Brady,
yeah.
Oh, he'd have paid the $230 million guaranteed in a fucking heartbeat. And don't tell me no. This guy was willing to pull up to a goddamn tug joint in a limousine. Don't tell me that. He doesn't care what makes the NFL look better. Stop it already. This is no. I'm being serious.
I know.
But it's colorful.
It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I mean, I feel like doing the sad trombone noise for Ozzie Newsome going wah 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 wah.
Yeah, the game show. You just won the home game. Get the fuck off the stage. I mean, I love Ozzie Newsome, but the fact of the matter is, a new day is dawning, and that new day, it was going to start sometime. Yep. What galls people is that it was the Cleveland Browns that did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be lapdogs. We're supposed to be losers. And hey, they approved Jimmy Haslam. The man is a thief. He's a fucking thief. And they're all fucking thieves. And they're all killing off their players prematurely. They're all responsible for the medical fate of people who were not covered. They're assholes.
Yeah.
But you want to know something? You get your players killed off. It doesn't matter if Junior Seau just, offs himself, or, if Dave Duerson offs himself. That doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. It just can't be the Cleveland Browns giving leverage to the Players Association. And that's what this is all about. This is a bunch of white men who love and crave power of being part of this elite group.
And like you were saying, that if he was the quarterback, they would have been signed him, because all he's asking for that he posted was 3 years, 133 guaranteed, which is pretty similar to Deshaun Watson's
He denied
yearly.
that, though. He denied
Oh, he
that.
did?
Yes, that came out, and it was.
I
like,
thought that
wait a
was
minute.
from his. I thought that was from his account, or was it some fake account on Twitter?
Yeah, I mean that's not true. He had to come on and say, no, that's not the case.
No.
Stop putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that. That's what Lamar Jackson said.
That's
But
why he
Lamar
needs the
Jackson
agent.
couldn't even spell what he was trying to say. I mean, you want to be, I'm going to be honest about this, real blunt and honest. I have a situation where, like every other American, I got to pay my taxes, right? And I don't just decide what I'm going to do by myself. I hire a professional. And I make sure that professional guides me professionally so that I don't do something that is illegal, and somebody who knows more about that than I do. I just can't for the life of me understand why this guy thinks that he can represent himself, and it's he's using Deshaun Watson's contract as leverage. And that's what's galling the NFL. That's what's galling Ozzie Newsome, because all of these people have been trying to keep the players down, and they consistently collude on certain players. Can you say Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, yeah, there's loads of
Just
examples.
collusion out the yay-wee. But now somebody has broke ranks and gone rogue. And of course, it's the thief, Jimmy Haslam. And you know something? The Browns will never win a world championship. They'll never win the Super Bowl as long as Jimmy Haslam is the owner of the team. It will not happen. They will not let it happen. These are spiteful men. And they don't want the goddamn cost to get out of hand, because they want all the money in a big pile right in front of themselves. That's what they want. And that's why it's happening. And now the headline that a non-agent might be contacting teams for Lamar Jackson.
Which you're not even allowed to do.
That's also what? Go ahead.
I was saying, and you're not even allowed to do that, because in order to talk with the team, you have to have a guy certified by the NFL.
But he don't know that. That's like me and the taxes. I don't know the subtle nuances. Do you think Lamar Jackson knows the subtle nuances of how to, I mean, as far as free agency? I mean, and the funny thing is, according to a memo obtained by Adam Schefter, the king of swing, the NFLPA informed the league that Francis, this guy, Francis, lighten up, Francis, who is not a certified
Never call
agent.
him Francis.
Don't touch me or I'll fucking kill you. Who's not a certified agent with the Players Union, might be contacting teams regarding Lamar Jackson. The memo said this: as an uncertified person, Mr. Francis is prohibited from negotiating offer sheets or player contracts or discussing potential trades on behalf of any NFL player or prospective player, or assisting or advising with respect to such negotiations. Now, Francis ended up telling ESPN's Jeremy Fowler that he has not contacted teams on Jackson's behalf. I don't speak for Lamar, Francis said. Well, that doesn't mean that you're not being used as a go-between, you stupid fuck. I mean, this is how we're going to split hairs here. Jackson also denied that Francis has been contacting teams on his behalf, tweeting, "Stop lying. That man never tried to negotiate for me." And that was all a run-on sentence. It should have been "Stop lying, period, capital T. That man never tried to negotiate for me." But he texted it, he tweeted it, I should say, as one run-on sentence. But what did we expect? By the way, Francis said he's business partners with Jackson on portable gym equipment. That makes him really qualified.
Oh, why would you even want portable gym equipment?
Well, and this is just totally fucked the Ravens over. I mean, but you know something? The bottom line is that the players start getting leverage, the owners will fall into line because they're, what are there, 32 men who have to try to compete with one another with a bigger dick than the one next to them, and they will end up spending money, and that's the way it will go. Yeah. That's the way it went in baseball, and that's the way it's now going to go in football. And I'd be the first one to admit that Jimmy Haslam opened the door. But Jimmy Haslam is a thief. If he bankrupts the Cleveland Browns, what in the hell difference does it matter to Jimmy? Jimmy's got more money. He's, you know. Oh, God. And then this. Alabama men's basketball coach Nate Oates said Thursday he was not offended by comments that Nick Saban made regarding Saban's handling of a football player's arrest, in contrast to how the Alabama basketball coach dealt with the controversy surrounding All-American freshman Brandon Miller. Saban on Monday suspended freshman defensive back Tony Mitchell after his arrest on a drug charge. In handing down the punishment, Saban said, "Everybody's got an opportunity to make choices and decisions." And then he added this incredible quote.
Okay, I'm ready.
"There's no such thing as being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody got to get Nick Saban's ass literally in the middle of South Central, in the middle of a drive-by. Stupid, motherfucking coddled liar. There's no such thing as being in the wrong place at the wrong time." The reason he said it is that's exactly what Oates, the basketball coach, claimed was the case about Brandon Miller, who found himself at the scene of a January 15th fatal shooting involving a former teammate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
So, but Oates is saying, you know, hey, he's entitled to his opinion because nobody goes against Nick Saban in Alabama. Unless somehow Bear Bryant
rose from the dead.
That's right. And you know, the bottom line is that Bear Bryant would really be perfect. He would be absolutely perfect for now because he'd be the biggest MAGA asshole in the world.
Yeah.
Take that. You know, I had a person come up to me today. I brought Topaz to the vet.
No.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't like that at all. He's got doggy allergies. Right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this woman was kind of peering at him and saying, "Oh, you know, how handsome, you know, your dog is and all this." And she's an older woman. But there was another woman there who had a beagle, and the beagle was barking at Topaz. And she was like saying to this woman, "You got to get your dog a trainer. You got to get," and she was getting really kind of mouthy with this other woman. And so she comes over, she goes, "Yeah, we just moved here from California." And I said, "Oh, wow." I said, "That's a long way to come. That's about the furthest you could move from home." I said, you know, she goes, "It's just increasingly difficult in California." I said, I can imagine what the cost of living is there. She goes, well, yeah, that's really bad. Then she looks at me, she goes, but the real problem is politics. You see, like she had to tell me this in a fucking vet's office.
Wow.
It's like, I can't explain it any other way. The Warsaw Ghetto, or the ghetto in Berlin, the walls that they constructed to segregate certain communities. Well, you know something? Being a Democrat in Florida is a lot like being a transgendered person in Alabama. That's what it's like. I have to hear this shit over and over and over again. Makes me want to vomit. But the bottom line is nobody's going to go after Nick Saban unless it's Bear Bryant. And they got to, but the thing that's amazing is we already know a football player who had a knife at the scene of a murder, who went on to have a Hall of Fame football career. So
he did.
Yep, he did. As far as the Browns are concerned, I like the Anthony Walker Jr. thing. I like that.
Oh, what happened there?
They got him for 1 year.
Okay.
And again, this is a guy who is a good attitude player and who's smart and who can learn a new system. I like that. And, he's a guy who can keep the players in line in the locker room. And I really do like that. Hey, Tom Hawley, how you doing?
Oh. So what about those calves?
Yeah, well, just wait a minute. Elijah Moore is thrilled about getting a chance to play with Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper can get down the field and twist his man like a pretzel, that's more working room for Elijah Moore. So, yeah, he's going to be happy about that. So I think that's all good.
Yeah, and he even said he grew up watching him.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, this is Amari Cooper is a wonderful wide receiver. And Elijah Moore still, the hope is that he has some ceiling above him, that he hasn't peaked in any way, shape, or form. And I hope that's the case for the Browns. It would be nice, but they're not going to get any calls to go their way this year. When you see how bad the calls are, when all 31 of the other owners in the league literally just put the shit skis to the Browns, the league is going to do what those guys tell them to do. That's the way it works. And
go
ahead.
Oh, you can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, because I was going to say, I was also, right after the trade happened, I was in a bunch of, the Jets Twitter spaces and listening to the fans talk about him. And a lot of them seemed kind of bummed out. They understand that, yeah, they need to move some pieces to get Aaron Rodgers. But of their wide receivers, they felt that he had the best potential. And they were kind of sad to see him go. So I'm happy that we got him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a classic case of a player who didn't see eye to eye with an offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is gone, but Elijah Moore is a casualty of Aaron Rodgers. And let's just tell the truth. They're doing everything they can to bring the people that Aaron Rodgers wants into there. And Elijah Moore wouldn't be one of those people. Not because he's a bad guy, but Rodgers doesn't know shit about him. And Rodgers has to make decisions in a fucking black, dark room. I don't know. He has to go into some kind of a cavern or something. And I know people who are big-time Packers fans who got sick of Aaron Rodgers' shit the last 3 years. So Elijah Moore is not taking back that outburst against LaFleur. He said that he learns from his mistakes, but at the same time, he's not saying that he was wrong. Juan Thornhill, there's a guy who can help some. I'm not saying that he is we need help, okay? And at safety, we need help. He's 27 years old. He has made some plays. He's 6 foot and 203 pounds. And, they're saying that Grant Delpit is going to be playing in the box more with the Jim Schwartz wide attack defense. Thornhill is going to be the one high safety that we remember, the Ronnie Lott guy who, like, center field guy.
Oh, is he going to be the Sendejo guy, the guy who gets caught napping as the receiver goes zoofing by him?
But when you make mistakes when you're the center fielder, okay, because everyone defers to the center fielder in baseball. And the fact is, if you're a one high safety, you cannot afford to take a step in the wrong direction, because if you do, they're blur right by you.
Yeah.
So that's the strength of Juan Thornhill, is that,
wow.
They feel comfortable putting him out there on an island, in essence, making decisions who to go over and double cover and how to help out. And we know that the Browns haven't been very good at that in recent years.
Yeah, and to state the obvious, he's obviously better than John Johnson, and he's played in some big games with the Chiefs, so he knows how to play with pressure.
Yeah, he's got to be better than Troy Hill, too. Jesus, all these mistakes we've had the past few years.
Well, and it was funny that Nicole Hardman signed a 1-year deal with the Jets as part, upon the exodus of Elijah Moore. And Nicole Hardman's numbers are not great numbers.
No.
And a lot of Browns fans wanted to see him because he comes from the Chiefs. Anybody who comes to the Jets can't be good because the Jets aren't good, right? That seems to be the way the fan base believes, and it's not true. That's just not true at all. The Browns, of course, did sign Joshua Dobbs as their backup quarterback. Let's pray that we get protection on the front line, because and I like Josh Dobbs. He's an intelligent young man.
Nice person, yeah.
And he's also kind of tight with Deshaun Watson. So there is a relationship between those guys. And so that was part of the reason why they, it's all about, kumbaya right now with the Browns organization. They want everybody to get along. And linebacker, who are we talking about here? Matthew Adams. He's special teams guy. A couple guys that we picked up are strictly special teamers. Adams totaled 33 tackles in his rookie season. He came close to that with 26 tackles last year, but he played in just 3 of the first 10 games of the season. He held a more prominent role in the linebacker rotation. The last 7 games recorded 19 tackles. So he's just another linebacker in a room that has Taki, that has JOK, that has Jacob Phillips, that has Jordan Kunasik, that has Tony Fields II, that has Sam Kamara and Story Jackson. So we're loading up, and so a lot of these guys aren't going to make the cut. Cornerback Mike Ford is the ultimate special teams player. They're giving Bubba Ventrone a gift. And isn't it nice we have a coach that's named Bubba? And
football name.
But I want my special teams guy to be named Bubba, by God.
Yeah.
Mike Prefer. Bubba Ventrone. Bubba, send that guy's ass on the field and tell him to hit somebody. That's a Bubba's job. But Mike Ford has been a really good, he's a 5-year veteran who's excelled as a special teams guy. He started with the Lions in 2018. He's played 61 career games with 9 starts. But really, the whole thing is all about special teams with him. He's technically a cornerback. So now the depth chart has Ford, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome II, MJ Emerson, AJ Green, and Thomas Graham Jr. So these are the people who are going to be fighting for jobs, which is.
And I just wanted to add, while you're talking about cornerbacks, we were never going to trade Greg Newsome.
No, it wouldn't seem like a very smart idea. I would at least let him play in his position And if he doesn't play well in his position, then you can think about it. But playing him out of position just didn't seem like the best move to me.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, we don't know the exact schedule, but we know the opponents. Our home opponents are, of course, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Cardinals, the Bears, and the Jaguars, and the New York Jets, and 49ers and the Titans. Our away opponents are, of course, all of our divisional rivals. And then the Denver Broncos, we play them, the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, and the LA Chargers and the Seattle Seahawks. So those are the teams that we're going to play. Ravens fans rejoice, a one-year deal with Nelson Aguilar as a wide receiver. So they got that done. And the Panthers agreed to a deal with DJ Chark, the wide receiver. So, I got to say this. The Panthers, for a team that doesn't really have a quarterback, is doing well with wide receivers. And the Cavaliers. I get to spend the rest of this time about the Cavaliers. That game, that was, in my mind, one of the great games and the most unexpected ending that I could remember seeing. I mean, I remember the most exciting games were the Miracle at Richfield, where a bunch of games were won in this last second. That was crazy, crazy, crazy fun. And, of course, the championship, with LeBron. Watching Kevin Love actually moving his feet instead of his mouth and guarding Steph Curry. That was like mouth drop open, kind of like, wow, who would have thought that would have happened? Well, it would have happened, but it would have ended differently. Who would have thought it would end that way? But and there were other years where the Cavaliers played some great, exciting games and this and that. LeBron made some fantastic shots.
Sure.
But honestly, that, he short armed. Donovan Mitchell short arms the second free throw, does the same thing he did, seemed like months ago.
Last week when he was trying to miss it and get his own rebound.
Yeah, and he did it again. He got his own rebound, and he missed that. Got it back a third time, and he missed that.
It's almost like he choked.
Well,
not that I really want to say that, but
he gator-armed the free throw.
Yeah,
there ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that was amazing about the game. That whole game, the Cavaliers would knock a ball away, and it would go right into the hands of the Nets.
Oh,
every single time. It was
great. Second chance ball.
Yeah, every available
single one.
And then they get it back. They put it in the hole.
And then Joe fucking Harris and his 5 straight 3-point shots, which he never did with Cleveland.
No, what was funny about it was a guy I go back and forth with Funwise on Twitter. And he wrote, that Joe Harris is obliterating us. And my response was, standing in a corner. And that's what he was doing. Exactly. I mean, he was standing in the corner, and they get a second chance ball, whip it around, throw it to him. He's open. He'd make the shot. And it was becoming so frustrating to me. It was like, God almighty, can we just get our hands on it? It wasn't that we weren't getting stops.
Correct.
We couldn't get rebounds.
Yeah.
But this game, the thing that there are a bunch of things about this game that really made me feel good, besides just the fact that we won it. One is that we won the game. I want to pull up stats on this. Thank you very much for introducing. No.
I knew
it's never going to go away.
I knew the Cavaliers were going to win because I was watching the Yes Network, and then about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, they put up the odds for the Cavs. They gave the Cavs plus 4.5 points. I goes, they're not going to need those 4.5 points. And at that time, Cavs were losing by 7. And I thought, we're going to win this game because these fuckers can't be that lucky all the time with their 3-point shots and their second chance balls and the balls going all in the right direction for them. Their luck's going to end at some point. And it did.
Well, I want to point out something here, and I'm going to have to go full screen on this. This won't affect the viewer. No, I guess I can't do that. It's not giving me the plus minus of players. But
what's that? I can look that up probably.
Yeah, it was who is minus as far as their time on the floor. What I can tell you is this: that we won this game without help from the sources that we would normally need.
Correct.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, Jared Allen is playing with a blurry eye. Darius Garland was 4 of 16 from the floor.
Yeah.
He was horrible. Donovan Mitchell was 3 for 9 from 3-point land. He scored 31 points. But the fact of the matter is that it was not an outstanding game for him. I mean, Jetty Osman scored 8 points. Karis LeVert, really, in 22 minutes on the floor, was only 3 of 7 from the field. And really, with the exception of a big steal that he made in the closing minutes of the game and the finish at the rim, there wasn't a whole lot of great stuff going on that way. We beat this team in the strangest way imaginable.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, one player, Darius Garland, played 39 minutes. One player played 40 minutes. Donovan Mitchell only played 33 minutes. The guy who played 40 minutes was Evan Mobley. And Evan Mobley just took over, man, and said, throw me the fucking ball. And started going at them offensively. I'm going, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like 26 points and 16 boards. That's a man's game. And he went after Claxton. He went after. I mean, he was hooking shots up. He was slam dunking follow-ups of missed shots. He just got himself going. And that's the first thing. Evan Mobley, we were wondering in the beginning of the year, it's like, is this guy ever going to really amount to, he's not having that second-year leap. Fuck, he isn't. It's just that he's just figuring out now where he needs to be on the court and how he gets his shot off. But he's looking better and better and better.
Yeah, and I would never say, like, obviously Donovan Mitchell is the best player on the Cavs, but there are certain times where you just watch Evan Mobley play and you might think like he's the best player on the floor for us.
Yeah, and that started over the course of the last month and a half.
Yeah.
And and he's actually calling for the ball and he's going to the hoop.
Yeah, he did
stronger.
He did that like in the last 2 minutes. He called for the ball and he took, what was it? Dinwiddie fucking slammed right into him and shot over him.
Yeah, I mean, he is initiating contact now.
Yeah.
Instead of head and shoulder faking, he's going in and he's going after it. And he's still not nearly as strong as what he will be. But nice to see that. But the thing that made this crazy was everything bad that happened to the Cavaliers ended up in a 2-minute period of time biting the Nets in the ass.
Yeah, it was a redemption.
It was weird. It was like they started turning the ball over in the last 2 minutes of the game. It's like everything that would work for them, because they made some horrible passes that somehow we would kick into the hands of somebody who would just lay it in. And it was like, we're not benefiting from, we would stifle them and they would
somehow score. Yeah.
Somehow score. And it became really annoying. And then all of a sudden, I mean, a big play, Bridges, not Lloyd, Mikal Bridges.
The Yes Network was all over Bridges, like loving him. Like they couldn't get enough of him.
Well, he's a fine player, and he's a great mid-range player. He's a good player. He's free of the restraints of playing in a system where he was like the defensive player.
Yeah.
He was like the third, fourth choice offensively. I mean, he's got a really nice mid-range game, and he can pop threes in too. He's a good ball player, good free throw shooter, and he's a good defensive player. Great guy to have on your team. But man, when it counted, he made that pass, and it was like, what are you, nuts? I mean, you don't. I mean, it was like every rule that they've written about how not to play basketball, like, do not throw the ball if you're falling out of bounds toward the other team's goal. I mean, do you realize with what was like 26 seconds left in the game, and we ended up, they had the ball inbounds, and we had to get the ball back. We were down 114, 112, and they thought that we were just going to foul them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they weren't prepared. So the guy dribbles up the side of the court, and then two guys collapse on him, and he goes, and he throws the ball, and the guy's falling out of bounds. Now, if he just rolls the ball toward his own goal, he's going to make us go 80 feet or 70 feet in the other direction. And that clock is going to get eaten up. Instead, he tries to fire the ball back in to a man who's out of position. The ball deflects off his hand, goes toward the goal. Donovan Mitchell gets the ball. And, that's how the foul that set up that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then them not coming up with that ball. There were three nets. I mean, the fact that Mitchell twice missed the follow-up of the missed free throw, that's one of our guys out of the equation right there, all right? Yeah. And we know that Okoro was not around, all right?
Yeah.
So two of our guys were away, and there were three of them, and they somehow bungled it up, man. The ball just kind of got booted around. It looked like kind of a rugby thing, and the ball ends up moving back toward half court into Karis LeVert's hands. Now, at this point in the game, you're beginning to wonder, and if you listen, you should listen to the Nets broadcast team.
It was great.
Priceless. And Karis LeVert starts dribbling the ball to the sideline. I'm going, no! And then he just whips the ball across, and there is the guy nobody would ever guard.
It's like when you're a kid in school, and they would I would be wide open because I was like a little guy, and they'd throw the ball to me, and I'd fucking drain it. And everybody would look around shocked.
I mean, the last person in the world that you could even think. Yeah, and he was standing at a corner saying, God, I hope the ball doesn't find its way to me.
I don't know.
No, I mean, he was where he needed to be, which was out of the way. I mean, he wasn't cutting to go back to or anything like that. And I'll say this.
True.
He caught the ball cleanly, which I was afraid of at first, because when that kind of thing happens, a guy who's not confident is going to be jumpy and looking at the basket before he looks the ball into his hands. And he caught the ball cleanly, and he was wide open. Yeah. And he just let that thing go. And it wasn't a high arcing shot or anything. It was just shot properly. And when that ball went in, I went, whoa!
I
like,
wanted to, but it was 2 in the
Yeah.
morning here, and I would have woken up 3 other people. But I was like, I was like beside myself.
do you remember what your first orgasm felt like, Double P?
No comment.
Yeah,
It was so long ago for
okay,
me.
I mean, do you, Bronk, remember the
No,
first
it was
orgasm
it
you
was
ever
so
had?
long ago.
But you shouldn't have any problem. You were alone, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
no, the first orgasm you had with a woman, all right?
Okay.
Can you imagine if the first time you came with a woman would be like, let's take our age into account, and the woman laying beside you was Farrah Fawcett, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, getting a game winner, and that was Isaac Okoro's first ever game winner, is nothing compared to the fact that it happened in New York. That's the Farrah Fawcett, before she was major. Farrah Fawcett minor.
Yeah. Nice.
That was the excitement of it all. It's like talking about a big stage. What a time to hit your only. Yeah. I mean, to me, it was like, wow. And that's likely to be the only one he ever hits. It's like,
hey, can I make a trivial comment about the game? Another thing that bugged me.
Sure.
The bloody coaches challenge. Why don't they give them like one more or something? Because Jetty Osmond obviously blocked that ball from behind like midway through the fourth quarter, and he was like beside himself wanting Bickerstaff to review it. And Bickerstaff said, "No, I'm not going to, because I gotta wait for the last 20 seconds. We might have something that we need to do it then." And it's just unfortunate. I mean, there was a lot of 50-50 calls last night. I'm not going to say the refs were bad. I'm not going to say they were good, but there were things that happened that could have been challenged.
Well, the last thing I'm going to say before I get out of here, because I do have to get out of here,
You have to get out.
is the NBA as it stands right now. The Cavaliers are 5 games up on the Knicks, 6.5 games up on the Heat, and 7 games up on the Nets. Okay, the Nets are down to 7th. Okay,
8 games left,
and the Miami Heat are literally climbing, and I don't want them in that 5 slot, man.
Yeah,
because I don't think we can beat the Heat. I want to play the Knicks because Tom Thibodeau has crippled his team like he does everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
but the Miami Heat, it's not going to be easy, but they have a real path to this. If you take a look at their schedule, and I'm just going to end this way, because right now, the Knicks are Tom Pettying. They're free falling. All right.
Yeah.
They're in big fucking trouble. And they're not beating anybody. They're losing to teams they have no business losing to.
They lost to like Houston or somebody, didn't they? The other day?
Yeah. I mean, bad. They're losing to teams they have no business losing to. Tonight, not tonight, tomorrow. They play the Nets. All right. So the Heat are playing the Nets on Saturday.
Big game. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they were hyping that the whole broadcast.
Yep. I mean, that's huge. Then they're going at Toronto, and it's never easy to win in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Then they play the Knicks head to head in New York.
Yeah.
All right. Then they play Dallas, which is not a piece of cake. Then they have a piece of cake game at Detroit. Then they're at Philadelphia. Now, it depends what Philadelphia is playing for. They may be playing for the 2 because they're only 1 game away from, the Celtics at this point. So there's opportunity for Miami to move up, and I don't want to see that happen. So be that as it may, you got to beat who they put in front of you. That's
Can I make a really quick point about the standings? If you look at the conference, games within conference record, I think you'll find that the Cavs are like 31-15, which is the best record in the Eastern Conference.
And the other thing is, this team was playing such lousy road basketball. We're almost up to 500 on the road now.
Yep.
So we're
Yeah.
learning as we go. So there's a lot to be said. So I'm excited about the Cavaliers. I got to get the hell out of here.
Bonus Moohead.
Yep. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate the Double P seeing you again. Thank you. And
Yep.
Bronx,
Yeah.
thank you. And everybody who tuned in, thanks. Sorry, I was a little bit late today. Until Monday, which is
no
just
game.
around. Just right.
I think we got game on Sunday, don't we? The Cavs game on Sunday.
No, God, we're not playing again until you may be right. I think, but we
sure.
have a couple days between games consistently for the rest of the year. So we're going to be rested if nothing else. But we'll be back Monday to talk about more about the Browns, more about the Cavaliers. And until then, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.
Oh, Cavs.